This space is reserved for you, Vivian.
What? No, I'm not ready for all this. I mean, I haven't even been able to tap into my creative flow.
If you wait until you think you're ready, another 15 years might pass you by.
Michael Ealy, I don't know if you ain't got the message in 2022, but light skin ain't in. Nah, I'm just playing, brother. But you keep your hands off my new TV wife. I like this Aunt Viv, and I don't want you up here causing no issues. Y'all see how this man was using all kinds of sexy ass words all in her interpersonal space, talking about he enamored with her work. What he really trying to say is, I want the hammer in her, is what he's trying to say. I seen the way you was looking at her, bruh. I got my eyes on you. Don't you do nothing. Don't you do nothing. I do love the way this show goes across and shows every depiction of black skin. And they have just keep doing a good job with the storylines and all the things they're bringing in. This is going to be my episode 5 breakdown for Bel Air. Still one of my top 2 best shows on TV right now. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Let's get into this review. If you're finding me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on those notifications so when I drop videos, you guys get them. Follow me on Twitter. Most importantly, follow me on IG. And this coming Wednesday, I have another star coming to the channel for an interview. This time it's one of the stars of Hightown. It's Tanya Glanz. She played one half of Leslie on the show. She's going to let me know what's happening in season 3 and all the fun stuff going on with Hightown and some things about her career as well. Do you guys remember the first time we seen Trey on the original show?
This is my bodyguard, Jeffrey. This is my Uncle Phil.
So you're also a disadvantaged inner city youth, I hear. Yeah, man, what's with him?
It's a tan.
Yeah, he was pretty funny then. But, you know, since this show has gone in the direction of having Jazz, seems like he's going to finally get that relationship with Hillary. I was wondering how they was going to play this Trey's relationship with Hillary, and they didn't even really have a relationship. They didn't even talk. Because the original Trey, man, him and Hillary got it in, man. They had a hot and steamy little thing going on. But this episode begins with Will picking up Trey. They having a little fun in the Lexus, letting the Alexa find stuff from him. And Trey is just having a good old time going somewhere where he's never been. And this story in this episode was oftentimes what we see too often in the hood when you've been secluded in that bubble and you haven't had a chance to experience what the world is all about. Then they cut to a scene where we got Dad talking to Hillary, and ladies and gentlemen, the crown is on his head. This is the new Uncle Phil. I love this exchange he had with his daughter. You know, I've got a 21-month-old daughter, and I'm learning from parents and other great fathers about how you have to be with your daughters. And he basically reinforced that mom loves her. You have to bear with mom and where she's coming from, and that you need to give her a chance. I loved every minute of this scene, and it showed just how connected this family is. We go back to Trey pulling up in the Bel Air mansion, seeing everything, and he just can't believe the night and day of what it is from where he comes from to what it looks like here. And then we get a scene with him hugging Aunt Vivian and basically brought her some cookies that Will tried to steal, which is kind of reminiscent of Trey in the original bringing Will that Philly cheesesteak, only this time Aunt Viv gets the cookies, and they giving a hug and embrace because they remember each other from back in the day, welcoming the young man to Bel Air. We get our first look at my man, Dwayne Martin, man. Just a 90s throwback, ladies and gentlemen. I remember him being in the Boys to Men video, I'll Make Love to You. I can remember him and Will being close back in the day. He was on the Rock and Jock basketball thing. Just good to see him playing Steve, the campaign manager for my man, Uncle Phil. And they're just in here having a little conversation about what Phil did in terms of kind of going against the grain and being a centrist Democrat in this run. And then what was kind of awkward was when Trey comes in and he's meeting everyone, Steve didn't realize what Uncle Phil had done to get Will out to Bel Air. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a big thing, this whole episode, and I really hope that this doesn't somehow come to bite Uncle Phil in the ass. I got a feeling it is, and I got a feeling the person that's going to do it is his own flesh and blood that's been living with him and not someone from the outside. We get Aunt Vivian talking to her sister Vi and basically just having a conversation about Will and Will possibly staying. And this is another touchy situation, my people, because the mom seems like she hasn't expanded her horizons to go outside of Philly either. And of course, it's her son. She's really looking forward to him coming home, but she wants him to stay. Aunt Vivian has seen a situation where Will is thriving in their community and thinks that they present the greatest chance for him to thrive as a man. And of course, if you're the parent, you're not feeling this because you want to spend more time with your child. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to what is going to be the best scenario for your child in the long run. And I really feel like Bel Air offers that, but it's hard to tell Vi that right now because she ain't trying to hear it with her baby. And then we get Will coming downstairs to see Hillary. She's having an influencer party. Basically, she's getting ready to leave the house and go stay with these influencers. And she's got a nice little spread. She done did the cooking. Everything looks great. When Will came down with this outfit on, I thought this was like Portia's team outfit or something. But, you know, he rocked it. It's not something I'd wear, but damn, he rocked. He looked good in it. And Hillary is killing it in her outfit and with this party. And this is when Will starts to contemplate, should I go back home? And Hillary said, hell to the no. You need to do what's best for you, and Bel Air is what's best for you, and I'm 100% in the camp with Hillary. Then we get my new TV wife, Vivian, talking to her great husband who was in here vibing to some music. They getting ready to go get ready for this party, and she's heard about all the different people coming and just letting him know that she's pretty much happy that she's got him in her corner, helping her make these things happen. And he's letting her know that, hey, we gonna get through this dinner. And then we get a scene where we got everybody done arrived to the dinner. We got a prankster, we got a political person, we've got a person that's running the house. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, when you see these Last Supper looking dinners like this, you better start thinking that there's gonna be some damn drama at these type of table settings when you got this many folks sitting at them, and there was a lot of drama going on in this thing. So let's just start out with Trey, drunk as a skunk, talking to nosy ass Carlton, who was soaking up everything he had to say. He basically sucked down all the information about why Will is in Bel Air and how the daddy got him off, and Carlton didn't know any of this. Now, I'm going to get to the situation with Carlton and the daddy in a little bit. I do kind of feel like a ball was dropped that they didn't let Carlton and the rest of the family know the conditions of why Will got here. And Carlton's got to hear it like this. Considering the way Carlton has been behaving and has kind of had a little bit of a jealousy streak in the house since they've been taking care of Will since he got here. We see a chick that does trips talking to Aunt Viv, and I do think that this is a window into the future with Aunt Vivian might wind up doing her art and might start putting it on social media and possibly get Hillary to help her build her brand. This could be her way of flourishing her artwork, and I think that this girl put the bug in her ear about doing it. And Aunt Vivian saying she's not a social media gal, and I'm just sitting here thinking, Aunt Vivian, that beautiful brown skin, that artwork you got, your style, girl, you is made for social media. Hey. And then we get the conversation with the fluid girl talking to Ashley about her sexuality. And we both called this out last episode when we picked up on Ashley is gay. And she's just letting Ashley know that at her age, you might be going through all these feelings that you don't really understand. And it's okay to be going through that. And I'm glad Ashley was able to talk to her because to this point, no one knows what Ashley's going through other than Jeffrey. And this was a way for Ashley to just kind of start understanding what the deal is. We get this influencer talking to Uncle Phil, basically, while Uncle Phil is talking to him, he's letting him know just how proud he is of his daughter Hillary, and how Hillary had issues at birth and all this kind of stuff. And the guy is really buying into what he's saying, because at first he thought that he would be ashamed that Hillary is an influencer, and Dad clearly is not afraid of his oldest daughter. And ladies and gentlemen, let that be a lesson. A lot of parents, when their children say they want to be influencers, they kind of snarf at it as if it can't happen. But it can really happen if you get big enough at it. I think what people get wrong is that you don't quit your job initially, because there is a growing pain that comes with it. But once you get to the point where you're basically taking care of yourself, don't overlook the power of social media influencers and the kind of money that they make, because they don't call them an influencer for nothing. They do influence the money that comes in from advertising. And now we get on to these pranksters. Lord have mercy. The pranksters in here, they really wasn't cornering and talking to nobody but Will, and Will was letting them know he wouldn't mind coming on the show. He do basketball. And they had a damn teddy bear bending over in the thing, shaking and making noise, and then they pulled the prank. And of course, everybody's like, yo, y'all can't put this up, but I'm sure that's going to come up. And at some point in time, this is probably going to be used against Uncle Phil in his campaign. Then we get to Carlton getting the full story from Uncle Phil. And basically, Uncle Phil told him, he had to do what he had to do, because they was going to throw Will under the bus and it wouldn't have been right. Carlton don't understand it. Carlton is frustrated. He feels like Uncle Phil has lied to him. And young people, let me tell y'all something. There's a reason why people say life is not fair. And Uncle Phil did what he had to do to get his family member out of jail, because they was about to unfairly do this boy wrong. Especially when you're talking about the criminal justice system has been unfairly stacked against African Americans since its inception. And, the only thing I feel like Phil done wrong here, he should have included the family on what he had to do. Now, maybe he did this as a way to protect the family, of which I know there are a lot of people that hate that lie, because the government is always not telling us stuff because they claim they're trying to protect us. But this is a situation I felt like he should have told Carlton what's going on. Now, is Carlton going to keep the damn secret? Because we still on the fence with this Carlton and whether or not we're going to trust him, and when he's going to turn around and is going to become best pals with Will. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. But will he burn down everything before that moment happens? And then we see Carlton go in there and chastise Will about the way he's gotten into the family, and basically telling Will, look, I got this information on you, and you underneath my thumb from now on as long as you out here if you want me not to snitch. So basically stay away from Lisa. Don't say shit to me in school. He has got Will under his thumb, and Will has matured a whole lot since he got out here. He's started making better decisions about what happens when he does something in the moment for the long run. And I do think Will is going to keep this secret. And then in the very next minute, we see Will and Trey come out here and speak to Carlton and Lisa can sense that Will is acting different. Now, this is my beef to pick with Lisa. Carlton is still basically trying to get back in with Lisa's good graces. Lisa is not feeling Carlton at all, but she's still hanging around him, treating him like a friend. Lisa knows full well Carlton likes her. He tried to kiss her in this episode. And I think when you have a situation where there's someone who wants you more than you want them and they can't seem to control it, obviously Carlton can't control it, I think it's up to you to cut them off. Because continuing to be their friend could continue to string them into thinking that they might have a chance with you in that manner. And considering that's what Carlton is thinking, and he just showed you he wants more than you, than your friendship, you either need to put up another boundary, or you might have to just cut his ass off, or else it might wind you in a situation where you guys hate each other for the long run. But I think her issue right here is more so her knowing that something is up with Will, and what is going to happen when Will tells her that Carlton is blackmailing him to stay away from her. We get Will, Uncle Phil, and Trey going to the D-Smoke concert, and that little exchange between Trey and D-Smoke was funny as hell. Not to mention Trey trying to get alcohol, and Dad and Uncle Phil took it from him. That was funny too. And you knew it was going to be something crazy that was going to happen at this concert. And we'll get there in a minute. But now let me get to old Mr. Michael Ealy. Handing my new TV wife wine and shit, dining her, showing her arts and tapestries, and using a masterful delivery of words, getting in her interpersonal space and talking about he want to see her work and all this kind of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very nervous that because Vivian's creativity has been stepped on because she sacrificed family over this. And at first, Uncle Phil seemed like he really wasn't feeling her getting back into it. I think that Michael Ealy's character in this situation is feeling that too. As much as he's trying to help her get back into art, I think he can also feel that there's parts of her that's a little vulnerable because she hasn't been doing the arts before. She hasn't been out here in over 15 years. Now, he did give her some good advice about if you don't utilize this right now, you might wait another 15 years. But I also pick up that lion in his ass with them light-skinned eyes looking at her, thinking about taking her some other places. And I really, really think and hope Aunt Viv ain't going to do nothing because this is Aunt Vivian. And she's one of my TV wives, and I don't want to see her go down a road that could cause strife with the family. And we might see that happen. I could easily see it happening. And Michael Ealy's character being in a world of hurt when Uncle Phil decided to come down on that ass. But on top of that, when Uncle Phil wins this campaign, there's going to be even more stretch between the family and him. And I could see this being a long-running situation between Michael Ealy's character and my Aunt Vivian. Aunt Vivian, don't fall for the light-skinned eyes. Don't do it. And then we get a political person up here with Lisa's daddy, who's head of the police, and they are upset with Uncle Phil for saying defund the police. And what he did helped him go up in the polls, but they are very upset he used that terminology. And I'm sure that Lisa's dad is representing the police union, and this other politician is headed is, probably something to do with the union as well. But the thing that people need to understand with defund the police, and this is in real life, the messaging was wrong. Defund the police does not mean we're going to take the funds from the police. It means reallocating funds in the police department so that some of the time when the police are called, you can have mental health people come and help with that. Now, the messaging with that whole thing was done terribly wrong, and there's idiots out there that really believed this and ran with it and hurt some people's polls ability because they thought defund the police mean we taking money from the police department to have less police. No, that's not what it means. And maybe Uncle Phil at some point in time in this season is going to come back and let folks know that that's what it means because this show is so well done. I think we'll see that. We get Ashley, in essence, coming out of the closet to her sister, and her sister was, more than willing to accept it. And I'm happy that Ashley has someone she can talk to and trust. Even though the sister's about to get out the house, the sister leaves her a line of communication so that she knows that whenever she's had these issues, she can talk to her about it. And, hopefully when she talks to her mom and dad, they'll be cool with it. But it wouldn't be TV if one of the parents didn't have drama with it. And I wonder which parent it will be. Post me your comments on which parent you think is going to have the most drama. And then the budding issue between Will and Trey finally comes to a head at this concert when Trey knows Will has no intention of coming back to Philly. And he's chastising him, saying, you're forgetting where I'm coming from. You're going to leave me at home. And ladies and gentlemen, your boy went through this same thing. Because I didn't know anything about the bubble, outside the bubble I was living in the hood, I legitimately was about to turn down a 6-figure-a-year job to stay close to home to hang with my friends. And I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it wasn't just that. It was also, I had a fear of not leaving where I had been. And so oftentimes opportunity is not going to be in your community. You got to go outside and get it. Now, yes, it's going to be sad for your friends. And it's hard for a friend who's getting left behind, who might not be getting these opportunities, to cheer for you. But at the end of the day, you have to make the best decision for you. And if your friend is really a good friend, maybe they will come to a point of understanding. and know that if you get in a good position where you can help them get out of their situation, you will. And Trey just lost all that, threw in the face of Will that he got shot for him in every other scenario you can think of, and that just wasn't cool. But at the same time, he is young, my people, and I'm not defending his behavior, but I am saying he's young. He's not been outside that bubble. He doesn't understand what Will is going through now that Will has gotten outside the bubble and has had a chance to see life in a different perspective. And hopefully him and Trey will get their acts back together and be friends again. But that was a sad moment, and I've been there. I know how it is. But ladies and gentlemen, don't let nobody stop you from doing what's going to better your future. If they're a real friend, they will eventually come around. We see Steve, the campaign manager, showing Uncle Phil that the things that have happened here recently have been good and bad for his campaign, because they recorded the conversation he had with the influencer talking about Hillary, which got him lots of fan press. But then he also was put in a campaign ad talking about defund the police that was causing a ruckus. And now we're going to see how Uncle Phil plays with a little bit of defense as the campaign might swing away from him. We get Trey leaving, him and Will crying in this situation, and it's very touching. I mean, there's not a lot you can say because you've had a friendship with someone this long and they actually look like they're getting ready to come up, and you got to go back to that hellacious situation you're living in. It is very tough, but I'm hoping that they'll spin this in a way that Trey can see that it is the best and that somehow or another he can be involved when Will starts to make inroads to whatever it is he's going to be as a grown-up. I love this scene where they had Hillary and Aunt Vivian embrace each other and hug, and she said she was proud, and that's all Hillary wanted to hear. This was a very, very touching moment because, you know, Aunt Vivian is just worried about the best for her daughter, and she's seen situations like this. She's old school. And she didn't know that Hillary could have this great of an impact in the social media landscape, and she did. And she's happy for her, and that's good to see. But cool believe, she's going to need her mama one more time. This ain't the end of it. And then they end this whole thing on Vi calling her son Will and basically having a cry session because Will has decided he's not coming back home. Aunt Vi is kind of stuck in her bubble as well, even though she's doing her job. She's a nurse. She's got a job. She's probably haven't ventured outside of Philly that much. And she's probably thinking to herself, why does my son want to stay here? Is it the money? What is it? And she's a little upset. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, again and again, do not become prisoner of your current situation if it's not creating a positive outcome for your life. And I'm liking the way they're taking this story, and I can only hope that they spin this in a way where we're all satisfied. And we all see that sometimes you've got to go outside your bubble to get the gains that life has in place for you. So that's going to do it for my episode 5 review. Sorry it's so late. I've been busy, been out of town, back and forth. But let me know how you're still enjoying this wonderful, wonderful rendition of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air that we know now as Bel Air. That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe, get yourself that life game. Did y'all notice how we didn't see my main man, MI6 Jeffrey? I guess we're going to get a whole lot of spotlight on him in the coming episode. I can't wait to get more of Jeffrey. Till that next Sex is Hell video, I'll see you.